you know what I'm saying? But the optic was terrible. I'm not gonna hold you. Man, these niggas outside my moral of the story, I ain't gonna lie, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Moral of the story. Look, you know what's crazy? Is the fact that when they had their little beef, they had their little conflicting, moments. I'm talking about members of Clover and members of the MP. With the whole thing of niggas breaking into niggas' houses and vandalizing each other's equipment and things like that, and the third, right? And I understand that was all entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And moments like this clarify that, because it's not real smoke. It's just streamer entertainment, right? And then once those streaming cameras have to go off, and families have to go, and people have to go spend time with families and things like that, it's like, yo, it's actually it's actually all love. It's never been smoke, and this is the example, because right, Reggie, Clover boys, and Phantom AMP, and yeah, I just wanted to point that out, to be like, yo, like it's nothing serious. It's never anything serious, because now we see that beyond that, niggas is actually family. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I couldn't blame somebody like Reggie, bro, for developing this kind of mind, because me myself, bro, like, I'm not, like, my parents were never married. You know what I'm saying? I'm a, what do they call them? Illegitimate child. You know what I'm saying? I once was familiarized with the term love child. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, I think love child rings off the tongue real cool. But the situation is not cool though, because as I said, bro, the fact that y'all broke up is the fact that that highlights the fact that y'all were never on the same page, right? That's why y'all had to break up. But then now, check it out, y'all got this kid. Okay, all this noise outside, like, yo, please don't mind that. Excuse that. But yeah, y'all got this kid going on, right? And now this kid is forced to adopt both of y'all perspectives, both of y'all understandings of how to handle conflict. You know what I'm saying? Since you and the kid's mother or the kid's father are not getting along, how to handle conflict, things like that. And now, if the kid cannot hang onto something that's like consistent within both these perspectives, it's gonna tear the kid apart. It's gonna let them like just wander off by their own selves. And that's not just limited to mom, dad, kid dynamics. It could be like with any family member, anybody that like initiated caregiving to a kid or a bunch of kids, right? It's like, if the kid cannot have something to grab onto, let's say the dad's part of just like going at life, understanding life, handling pressures, handling conflict. Let's say if there's nothing to hang on to that is consistent with the mother's version of handling pressures, you know what I'm saying? Being grateful about life, like, etc., all of that, like handling the outside world. If there's nothing consistent there, yeah, that whole thing is gonna be torn apart. Like, I remember, like, I went to boarding school, right? I started boarding school like from like grade 10. You know what I'm saying? That's like high school. From grade 10, I would go to boarding school, and I'm not gonna lie, you see that initial moment that Reggie was going through, just like looking outside in the balcony, and it's just silent, and the whole house is just silent, and you know what I'm saying? There's nobody there except just him and his cameraman. Of which I don't get it. Like, yeah, there's cameraman there, so I don't think it's really deep for Reggie like that. He's still got like some aspects of connection. I don't know, whatever. But like, that just reminded me, like, literally, like, I went back to those moments in high school when I was in that boarding school, you know what I'm saying, in the dorms, and it was the weekends. Because kids would have to go home on the weekends, from Fridays, come back on Sunday evening type shit. I would have to stick around, and it wasn't something that was legal, like, so to speak. Like, the school forbid that shit, unless you were just like staying behind on some sports shit, on some, I don't know, camping vibes, whatever extramural shit that the school had going on during the weekends. Then you could stay behind. But like, I would just like stay just cause, you know what I'm saying, just cause I ain't trying to be home. You know what I mean? Just cause I ain't trying to. And again, I had my reasons. These family structures, these situations, they have their reasons. These minds, and it's not just Reggie. And if you're the same way, it's not just you. I feel like, especially nowadays, more and more people are going to realize that there's actually more people who are going through these kind of like isolated events or isolated perceptions of their own lives. There's more people than not, dog. You feel what I'm saying? And there's more people that can actually, teeter like in between being by yourself and being able to connect. Because I feel like that's the moral of the story. An individual like that just needs to integrate their sense of connecting, you know what I'm saying, at the times that they need to connect. But anyway, you know what I'm saying, it would remind me of my moments. I would go through those little situations, and look, bro, for the most part, those they were peaceful, though. Yes, they feel alone as fuck, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, you would go through moments where it's like, damn, okay, I wish I was like at home right now. I wish I was like with family right now, with friends right now. But then that's when I would pop out and just go, to like my friends, the friends that were like living around, my boarding school that I was at, because home was like an hour away, an hour and a half away type shit. So I would just like go to the friends that are around that I kick it at school with. But it's the weekend, so they're at home, but I'm just like the only boarding school guy, the only boarding member that's at the dorms at the school, you know what I'm saying, during the weekend. But then, you go, come on, bro, like it becomes second nature, and you realize that you're not the only nigga that goes through that kind of shit, because other people would like often like stay behind there and be like, oh damn, you also go through, and then y'all connect on that front, you know what I'm saying, the other loners that you end up bumping into. You can try and establish family on that front, of which that gets much more harder to establish a family with a stranger who's also a loner. That's why you bumped into them in the first place, and then trying to establish a relationship, a connection, or whatever, right? Because they may have their own reasons that keep them isolated. So you know what I'm saying? That's where that whole balance comes in play. Like, with a person like that, let's say you're a loner, right, or whatever, you prefer like just being by yourself, of which it's not a good nor a bad thing, it's neither here nor there, I'm just trying to make a point, right? And then you meet somebody who's like that as well, who's a loner, blah blah, introvert, right? And then y'all might just relate with one another, or for the fact that you're always alone, dog, la, da, da, you know what I'm saying, but you make it work, you actually kind of enjoy it. Oh shit, I actually also kind of enjoy it too, damn, da, 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 you know what I'm saying. And then that might be a point of appeal for both of y'all, and then y'all might just start having more and more frequent conversations with each other. But that's not like a license for, oh shit, I found my family, somebody to attach to like 24/7, because that would only expose the fact that you're not really a loner. You actually do desire connection. It's just that you found yourself in the like wrong places to establish that, right? That's it, that's all, you know what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, like, I'm like, this is a conversation, this is a speech for like my loners out there, people who actually find joy in that. Like, yo dog, I'm peaceful being alone. It's just that, yes, it does look crazy sometimes, and it does feel crazy genuinely, you know what I'm saying. But then that's where you look at another loner who's at peace being by themselves, but having that point of connection that won't force y'all to be together 24/7. That's it, that's all. You know what I'm saying? That's why what happened with Reggie needed to happen. You know what I'm saying? It had to happen for him to like scoop him up. Hey, this is just for, oh shit, you buy yourself for Thanksgiving. Nah, pull up. You know what I'm saying? And then they eat up, whatever, share the moments, and then everybody back to their corners. That's how I would handle it. That's how I would handle it if I were Reggie. But I'm not Reggie, and clearly with Reggie, bro, Reggie's the kind of person who is, I think he, in his true nature, he is family oriented. He is, you know what I'm saying, he's a family guy. Like, I feel like he does come alive, when family is around, but when the right kind of family, right, the right kind of connection is around, that's when he connects and shit like that. So he is that person. He's just been forced to deal with a whole lot of situations by himself, and so that that's what brings about like the point of view of his version of the lonely streamer. Because I'm not gonna lie, the lonely streamer is an epidemic that's on the rise right now. A whole lot of streamers, content creators, they find themselves in this position, but that's because they connect better when they're online. So they prefer doing that, right? They keep on doing that, to a point where when it is the time of the year, when the general public is like, yo, it's family time, you wake up and you're like, oh shit, I ain't even got no family. Shit, I didn't realize it. Damn. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, bro. I relate almost 100% to that kind of energy, to that kind of, to that kind of perception. Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But you make it work for you. You feel what I'm saying? However, and shout out Phantom, bro. But we are gonna go ahead with the rest of the video right here, right? So like what I'm thinking literally, right, is, well, what I'm receiving from the brother right here is the fact that, yo, because realizing the fact that these are just cycles that happen, you know what I'm saying, all the way up until you are until you pass on type shit. The fact that it's nothing but just like chasing this will, right? Or being motioned by this will, being pushed by this will. And then you even have your moments of, high optimism, high optimistic moments and shit like that. But even there's these underlying just like gravitational pulls that just like, pull you towards the reality. You know what I'm saying? Pull you down towards like what's really real, what's underneath what you think is there to make you happy, things like that, right? And I feel like just coming to those kind of realizations is you coming to terms with your own limitations, right? And the whole lesson behind pessimism giving you better life lessons and helping you understand life better than probably being on one spectrum of either pessimism or optimism, right? Being on the extreme of pessimism, right, of which that's like you still locking yourself up in a bubble that's not really all the way real, and there's gonna be a whole lot of resistance because it's not all the way in alignment with reality, right? That's the same with being all the way positive, being on the extreme positive end of that spectrum, right? But then now, as we are touching on pessimism, it's like, the percentage of pessimism that's supposed to make your life, you know what I'm saying, in terms of as per you applying that kind of pessimism, it makes you understand life better in that pessimism does account for your limitations, dog. You know what I'm saying? It is something that's discouraging, knowing the fact that, okay, you have these ambitions, you have goals to reach whatever point, you know what I'm saying, but the fact that you're a human that has the limited background that you have, you know what I'm saying, when we're talking about your resources, people in your family, your background, your caregivers, how they gave you this care that now developed your mind into you either seeing things pessimistic or for the most part, or optimistic for the most part. You know what I'm saying? All of that contributes to like what becomes your limitation. You know what I'm saying? How you move. And then obviously you realizing, coming to terms with your own limitation. It doesn't mean like, and the acceptance that I'm talking about, it's not like, we accepting that, no, we're limited, we can never get through a certain point. It's like there's always working through a certain point, but you work with the humility of knowing that, this is the end of me. And right now, the intention that I'm setting is to just go past this point. But the realization of this is the end of me has to come. It has to hit you. You know what I'm saying? And you having a better understanding of your own limitations and boundaries. Okay, and this kind of thing where we want to establish our limitation, it can be in any aspect. So for example, when we talk about our physical aspect, my physical body, right? If I can understand that, dog, I am not like a 6 foot whatever guy that's, has these chiseled out, chisel jaws, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like the mad attractive, mad ripped, mad muscular, mad like moneyed up kind of individual where it's like, dog, I understand, like I don't even come from a background where I could build myself up to have a certain amount of money at this point. So I have to understand that for me, getting a woman or getting a mate, for me to replicate my DNA is gonna be a little bit harder. Well, considering the standards of today in terms of, the rubric and the prerequisites, nigga, you know, or what's needed for you to get a partner, a sexual mate easily. You know what I'm saying? If you don't meet these prerequisites, meet these standards, you can't get one easily. But then again, I'm saying it doesn't mean it's impossible for you to get one. You understand what I'm saying? But you understanding your limitation, right? You understanding that, yo, I'm a lower middle class nigga. That's gonna light you up in terms of the areas to look for your partner, so that you don't look crazy looking for a partner in the wrong spaces, right? So you were pessimistic in the fact that, you know what, man, I'll probably not be a 7-figure nigga. I'll probably just comfortably be right in my 6 figures, right in my 5 figures. Fuck it, right? I'll be comfortable with that. But even in that realm, bro, there are people that can appreciate me for me. Now that realization, bro, is the benefit or the positivity of pessimism. You know what I'm saying? Because, okay, think about it. Here's another example. You're a pessimistic nigga in the fact that you're mad stingy, or okay, let me say pessimistic in the fact that you really think you'll never, you know what I'm saying, you'll never reach your dreams in being the famous artist or whatever the fuck, right? Now, being pessimistic in that aspect is gonna force you to at least be open, keep an open mind in another aspect, even though that open mind is gonna happen subconsciously. But because now you're pessimistic towards your dream, right? For example, now you're telling yourself, nah, I'm not chasing that, fuck it, da da da. So, okay, but then now you're here, now what now? I'm gonna have to get a job then. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm growing older. My mother or my dad or my caregivers are not gonna be around forever to take care of me forever. I'm gonna have to get a job. After getting a job, I'm gonna have to, do the regular thing. Live, you know what I'm saying? Get my little salary pack. Get a partner that's gonna help me, with some bills so that we can be able to create a home, create a family, and the regular nigga thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to now deal with that since you're ditching this, since you're pessimistic to this, since you're closing yourself off to this, to the dream, the possibility, the ambition, us being beyond this, us being something that's more than this. Because you're closing yourself off to this, to that, you're gonna have, by default, bro, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, you have to open yourself up to the regular thing then. And you understand what I'm saying? And then that helps you understand the regular part of life, the more humble parts of life. And that's a benefit, bro, because now you become somebody who can handle the general public, more of the general public, more people, because you relate with more people versus how superstars would have to relate to regular people, right? Or versus how people who are just happy-go-lucky, everything has to be just happy, just have good thoughts. Those kind of people, they end up learning that, nah, bruh, you're actually not relatable to other people. You just probably keeping that mindset for some sort of, some sort of attachment that you have to a certain position, to a certain somebody, to a certain way that things are, right? So that's just what this whole thing taught me, bro. But let me let the brother carry on, bro. Hold on, my bad, though.
And Schopenhauer, he doesn't let you wiggle out of
job and then it's worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, that motherfucker turned out miserable. You know what I'm saying? And as I said, bro, people are just realizing, the illusion. Well, they've been realized the illusion and just how humanity that came before them, you know what I'm saying, have put their hope and their faith in something that just a couple generations later, those generations see that as, nah, dog, I don't think that's it. You know what I'm saying? AKA, the previous generation, what they have put their image of success in, or their ambition towards success in. You know what I'm saying? Because for them it was the job, and I could understand that because it was probably uncharted territory. You know what I'm saying? It was uncharted territory that had come maybe from previously even more oppressive times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do your homework, but in terms of history, right, and the history of the 9 to 5 and how it had developed, I'm just gonna share it with you like an ignorant POV, right? This, but it's like, yo, you know, I've learned that, you know, in previous like centuries, bro, like centuries ago. I don't know if this was centuries ago. Don't quote me on this, but people would have to, like, for you to get a job and for you to like survive as a human being, and how you would have to create an income is, you know, people would wake up, you know, on the morning of that whatever day centuries ago, right, and go out and look for employment, right? But it wasn't in the traditional sense. Right now they would have to go and wherever that you would be hired. So say let's say somebody who's, you know, somebody who owns something, right, needs some assistance with whatever it is that they own, and then they have wages to give out, like pay to give out. You know, you could be selected like amongst a plethora of people that were just like looking for this. If you're selected, obviously you're the lucky chosen, but then it's only gonna be for a day. So once that day is done, you get your wage, you go back home. Tomorrow it's a brand new hustle. You go back to the position or the spot or the station that you was positioned at yesterday when you found that job yesterday, and it's the cycle repeats. You have to be selected by an employer or somebody of that sort. You know what I'm saying? And like the employment would last just a day. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like the transformation of even the 9 to 5, how people have, you know, been earning their money, because now it went from that to somebody just like being contracted, right? Contracted so you can come through and work for an extended amount of time, and then that's how you would get paid. That's how. So it eliminated the pressure of like that cycle, that daily cycle of, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna get today. I don't even know if I'm gonna get anything today. So that whole cycle, because I would imagine how it develops in the brain of the person going through that, you know, and then generations pass, and then it's like, yo, now we're living in a time where, yeah, you get contract, you get hired, basically, come through, work for an extended amount of time, and then this is how you get paid, blah blah. But then, you know, with every new solution comes new problems, though. You know what I'm saying? It comes new ways of people to just look at the fucked up aspects of life, the negative aspects of life, of which they're always there, no matter the circumstance. That's why you can go from job to job to job to job. You'll always find that negativity. You know what I'm saying? It always starts optimistic because you're thinking, yo, at least this is different from my last job, blah blah. Oh shit, the people here are welcoming. Oh damn, I'm not even working outdoors, we in an office, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Type shit. And then it's like, yo, oh man, air conditioning, man, we got coffee, we got the coffee maker, you know what I'm saying? It's not no construction shit where you gotta work under all kind of like weather conditions outside, blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So that there's that excitement, but once that honeymoon phase is over, right, you start like doubling down, seeing, you know, all the underlying darkness that may, you know, go on. Like, this one is actually sleeping with the boss's daughter, and that's why he's getting all this, you know. That time, that's the head of HR. That's why the boss's daughter can like wild out, right, go crazy, never get no warning, never, you know, get dismissed, never get suspended, nothing, none of that. Then you start seeing all this degeneracy. You like, what the fuck? What? And then the politics of things, and then people are making things up about you and this, that. You're like, man, look, bro, I understand, man. Like, it's a real advancement in terms of my income, blah blah blah. But this is not it, bro. And that time, what did you have to do to gain that job? You had to take your ass back to school, right? Because they turned you away, talking about, man, just high school qualification. No, man, we need advanced degrees. You done took your ass way back to school, right? Got your advanced degree, came back for this to be happening in front of you, and then for you to get the epiphany, oh shit, I had to get a master's degree so that I can work at a different environment, so that all this demonry and darkness doesn't happen to me, so that I have my own exclusive office, and all I gotta do is just research in my own little air-conditioned environment. I just research things, submit the reports, and I go back home. You know what I'm saying? And then you do that. Let's say you do that. You get your master's degree, get your PhD, get your blah blah blah, and you know, you work exclusively now. You work, you know what I'm saying? The pay is much higher, but the demons is much bigger. Nigga, come on. What are we talking about, bro? That's just all the 9 to 5 nature. It is what it is. It's in its own nature, dog. Like, it's just the nature of the game. I know y'all have heard that saying. You know what I'm saying? The nature of the game. You feel me? And I don't know. Even me breaking this shit down to you, dog. It should just be clear that this is what's people have been realizing this. You know what I'm saying? And this current generation of ours is like, they've been spotting this thing and are like, yo, what's alternative ways for us to just like make something out of ourselves? You know what I'm saying? Because this is weak shit, bruh. And I feel like it's to a point where it doesn't, let me say, even in aspects where it doesn't have to be a real problem, this unemployment thing, it ends up becoming a problem. For example, it's like you get younger people who are just like, they're like, nah, I'd rather not go do this. You know what I'm saying? Not because survival and I won't be able to feed myself or blah. Like they just don't want to do that because of the whole elusive nature of it. You know what I'm saying? Because of this whole what is it? Weak ass promise from it, right? The weak reward. It's not even, to a point, it's not even a reward. It's worse torture. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was looking at some content pieces where Gen Zs and are teachers. Gen Zs are police officers and law enforcement people, but they be on TikTok. You feel what I'm saying? They be on TikTok. They literally not like, they're so checked out of their jobs. They're on TikTok. They doing baby boomer challenges. They twerking on, you know what I'm saying? They filming the kids, as because they're teachers. They doing day in the life videos of whatever the case. Oh, damn, I think my nose is congested. Give me. Damn. Yeah, it was gonna sound terrible. I did that in front of y'all. My bad. I still got manners. I'm saying, I had to apply my manners and mute myself. But anyway, people are so checked out of like this current reality of what the job market offers that they'd rather be at school doing TikToks. But then again, not knowing, or little do they know that they be violating their own positions, bro, because they be getting fired too. So that's what I mean by it's an unnecessary job unemployment problem, because as I said, with the content that I see, like, people would be filming kids, like sub teachers would be filming kids, and that's illegal. Get their ass unemployed. Or even therapists, bro. I don't know if y'all know about the therapist that went and exposed how men are so damaged, blah blah blah. Whole time you're a therapist, bro. You have men coming to you, breaking down their vulnerable areas of their mind and their psychology, all for you to make a TikTok and be like, yo, you know what, man, y'all actually are trash, and I see this blah blah through my practices, and it's like, what the fuck? That's malpractice. You know what I'm saying? And then people like this, they get let go from their jobs, and it was unnecessary, or because you want to, you know what I'm saying? But that's just how this current younger generation's mind goes, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'd say the moral of the story, man, go ahead and just like, don't even, like, if you know, bro, and that's the thing though, we cannot tell the future, but for as far as you can tell, dog, like, if you know that you're not finna spend like not more than 10 years in this job thing, and you're not like, even though you go through things, because even though you find something that you may be pleased in, you are gonna experience like some level of resistance. You know what I'm saying? But then even with that reality in mind, knowing that, you know what, I could push 10 years easy, I could push 15 years easy, because of something that's beyond the financial incentive, or something that's beyond the social status image that I might get from this. Like, it's probably the kind of growth that you want, maybe deeper growth in just like knowing how to handle children, bro, and just really nurture them and really guide them through life, aka being a teacher through those means and those reasons, instead of you know what I'm saying, I just had to do this, bro, damn, because my parents, they did this, or generations previous, they did this is the only way we can survive, this is the only way that even society can put respect on your name. It's like, man, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Find a deeper reason to get into some shit, and if that reason may not having you, if that reason may not have you stick to that job for at least 2 decades, nigga, or a decade and a half, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of the politics and the resistance you're gonna get there, then it's not for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Find something else. And you know, I've realized a whole lot of Gen Zs, man, they be messing with the online thing and the TikTok and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? But even there, bro, they niggas still got a long way to go, bro. They just gotta know how to conduct business and, you know, business ethics and things like that, because we're trying to make money out of it, right? You know, trying to make money out of it. Facts.
Homework Solutions website cut 45% of its workforce due to AI practically replacing its entire purpose.
Oh, and then there's
AI. You can
AI.
ask it literally anything.
And there's AI.
Amazon has
Facts.
let off 14,000 people so it could spend more of its budget towards their AI advances. HP is looking to cut between 4,000 and 6,000 employees. Microsoft is looking to cut 9,000. When you search for something on Google, it legit gets its AI to pull the best results, so you ain't even gotta click on actual links anymore. I couldn't even tell you what the state of the education system is looking like right now, since I've just been seeing people submit literal bullshit for assignments.
Get me started,
AI
man.
videos are just getting more and more realistic by the day. Like, you literally can't tell what's real or what's fake.
It just shows, Uchi, you just need to be in front of your people. Now, you already pointed out the fact that, no, his crowd, I don't like how his crowd, nigga, what your shit at? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the more you know where your crowd at, you'll be more confident to be like, yo, that nigga crowd, you tripping, you know what I'm saying? But yo, watch out, bro. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm coming for your ass, regardless of what they slimy, and you know, yo, it's not the fucking, it's a cult, nigga. So you gotta, like, you know what I'm saying, also come through with like cult energy, you know what I'm saying? So, but then now it's like, yo, for you to even determine that, what you trying to get into? Are we doing cult or are we doing community with you? You feel me? I feel like this is like a venture that small minded can just like get into. Start paying attention to shit like your own analytics. Stop leaving that shit to like the label to do. You know what I'm saying? Zoom in on your own YouTube analytics, bro. Like, if it means, yo, start your own, like, first things first, bro, is your like social media things ran by you or the label. You know what I'm saying? You or a management. Like, bro, it's important that you do that, because maybe a management agency or like not even a management agency, but like a label, they look at things from in terms of just like, you know, this immediate growth that they trying to get into. You know what I'm saying? Immediate, even, you know, market growth that they're trying to get into, financial growth that they're trying to get into. They got these immediate goals. You can look at things for, like, you know what I'm saying, long-term legacy things. That's why the decisions you may make, if you get into diving deep into your own analytics, you know what I'm saying, it may have benefits in terms of you even starting to identify your own slimes. Not slimes, but your own community. I don't know what you call those, but like, you know what I'm saying, so that you can talk with a bit more confidence, dog, than this, dog. You know what I'm saying? And so that you can perform at shows that don't take their bathroom breaks when you trying to fucking bust your verse. You get what I'm saying? That's it, that's all, bro. That's it, that's all. So get into your own bag, bro.
On Twitter, he took it there and just like was on some, you know what, I'm putting it on your face, in your face, that yo, I'm number one and you independent, wada wada. And you know what, it was so crazy. But I don't think I'll ever diss him. I'm still a fan even now, even though they don't think I am a fan. Yeah, still bump him. I couldn't even bump his album because like I dropped the same day. So there was that feud, you know, everything going around. But I started listening to him like the day before yesterday. And I have to say, great project. And I'm not just saying this because, you know, I am being genuine right now. But it's whatever. It's whatever with niggas, bro.
Yeah, I see
like
that. I see that.
Stuff, I feel like Twitter and social media always be driving everything crazy, you know? So I don't know how he is going to take that, you know? But it's whatever right now. It's real.
Well, that was respectful though.
To make things even more interesting, some people are now claiming that we left Usima money back in 2024, arguing that 2024 was really his peak and everything after that has been a slow decline. Whether that's true or not is what the debate is about. but I heard some hard snippets he's coming with, and trust me, he's cooking.
How they sounding?
But
Is he
getting
though?
back to the purpose of the video,
Good question.
what do you guys think about Usimamane's stage presence after seeing that recent
I mean,
performance? Is he actually falling off, or was this just one of those shows?
Hey, Doug, look. Okay, let me just break down the moral of the story real quick. I feel like I got some shit to say right quick. My bad, Dwayne. Easy. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Look. Dog, it's nothing but like a, just like a, you know what I'm saying, optic that's not supposed to be, it's not supposed to be kind of just like, how can I put this, bruh? It wasn't the right time. Not the right time. It's not the space for him to perform, man. Come on. And obviously, you know what I'm saying, for him, he may have looked at the competition and be like, yo, nah, yeah, the price looks right, dog, let's do it. And I feel like that's the whole, again, bro, that's where this whole thing, you know, has reached a point of redundancy. To be like, yo, as long as the bag right, we good, bro. As long as the la right, we good, bro. And then you end up on stages like this where people don't even appreciate your shit. They don't know your stuff. You know what I'm saying? And yo, financially it's great, right? But like optic wise and how people look at you, it might even be a conversation he fell off. You feel what I'm saying? Whereas obviously the digital footprint, bro, and how shit looks in the long run, shit like this, it affects that. Because even in future reference, they're gonna look at this and be like, oh, just small money fell off type shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying in terms of the intention, dog. A nigga that's like, yo, nah, at least the check is right. I just want to check. I went my, I just want to eat. I went my, my bad. I'm saying, I'll be getting jiggy with it. Hold on. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I just want to check. That's it. I'm back home. But then, that might, for you, it might just be an opportunity for people to go take their bathroom breaks. Go fuck a little in the car, you know what I'm saying? Cause I done spot it, you know what I'm saying? Go get it smashing right quick. I'm gonna be back. How many songs this nigga performing? 3? I bet. It's a cool little 10 minutes of like me go, you know what I'm saying? Let me just go get my little drugs, like whatever the case, bro. You feel what I'm saying? You don't want that. And then I feel like because of that, take seriously, man, the potential. I mean, you said you are a fan of the man, right? A fan of Reese. Take the notes, I guess. You know what I'm saying? This nigga, he initiated his own journey into just like pushing shit independently, DTC things. Take notes from that and just be like, okay, cool. You see, this nigga community making him strong. His cult following, bro, it's actually corny calling it a cult following now. I'm not gonna lie, it's a community. You know what I'm saying? No cap. That's why I feel like that nigga might do really great as a streamer though. He already got a community, he already got it popping, and with the whole, streaming verse, like the streamer verse, bro, he could amass another new following that knows him for that kind of streaming. You know what I'm saying? And you already know Reese got that effects where like that magnetism, I guess, pause. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like a fan might just like fuck with him for real. You know what I'm saying? Or like, I don't know. But the cult following that he's been able to develop, he's just like done that off of the music, right? So it's just the power of the music. He may just be a weak ass nigga like live on camera. I don't know. We ain't even seen that. I know his girl Raquel, like she got like a YouTube channel where she be vlogging shit, blah blah blah. Cool. Like I don't know. Like he could do that type shit, and that could be cool. And therefore, since he's not doing it, it's my money, bruh. Why don't you just get into just like you know what I'm saying? Streaming and shit like that, so that you can actually even double down on knowing who your real niggas is, or establishing a real community where you can also just like, you know what I'm saying, be like, yo, yes, his supporters, that man's supporters, they go hard for him, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I also got my people that, yeah, did you see how they clap back for me under the, come on, bro, it's the age of the communities, dog. Communities are at war with each other. For the, you know what I'm saying? Okay, that's another segment for like, because that's more parasocial, bro. And for people to understand the parasocial verse, the parasocial world, it's a whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, yo, it's my money. That's all that needs to happen, brother. Like, actually, not for you, dog. For anybody, because, Dwayze was pointing out, yo, superstardom. Yes, in terms of superstardom and being a celebrity, I feel like the days of that, I was just like, dead and gone, bro. Like that shit is weak as shit now. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, do what you do if you feel like you know you could actually gain mad value that you can then transmute to just like do something else and initiate something else as per your brand. Then I guess the whole celebrity shit, the whole superstardom culture can still like work in your benefit like that, right? But for somebody like my money, bro, nigga, you a young nigga, bro. You a young nigga. You know what I'm saying? The music still slaps. I'm not gonna lie. Like for me, the music slaps. It's good. It's good shit. It's just, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta, you know, put to the back burner the whole thing of like, yo, let me let the establishment push, you know what I'm saying, my things, know my analytics, because as I said, bro, they can have different intentions from what you may have like pushing shit by yourself.